This is a good question. I got to ask, who's the greatest left-handed throwing quarterback ever? Believe it or not, left-hand quarterbacks are rare. When I see someone like Tugalova, who's borderline almost done with his career, because if he gets another concuss, that could be it. They're few and far in between. Can you believe that Kellen Moore, who's a coordinator, was a quarterback? Can you believe it? But let me run down the ones who almost made it. Two is still on the jury's out. There was Jim Zorn, there was Mark Brunell. And Brunell is considered one of the 10 best left-handed quarterbacks. But let me get over the obvious ones. Ken Stabler, Hall of Famer, Super Bowl winner. Boomer Esiason, League MVP. Steve Young, Super Bowl MVP. And of course, you remember Michael Vick. Now, of these four, who should have been considered an all-time great? Vick should have been considered an all-time great. Stabler, it depends on who you ask. Steve Young, I don't think quite merits that. That's interesting when you talk about left-hand quarterbacks and where they rank all time, because it really is few and far in between when you get to it. Vick is the most talented one of the bunch. Steve Young is the most, probably more respected of the bunch. And Stabler was with the Raiders and had a great career, and Esiason won the league MVP. But it's such a very wide range when you get into the questions, because when you're talking about left-handed quarterbacks in NFL history, it's a very interesting story of how what they're respected and how they're seen as, the depths, the magnitude, the prosperity of what goes on. So it's a real interesting scenario of where they come down. Some people have a tendency to kind of not really take them, because it's serious, and a lot of teams have avoided them. You really haven't seen a lot of them, and a lot of them, some of them just have been busters, like Scotty Moore. I remember, was it Scotty Mitchell? I remember when he was with Miami, he had an out of body experience, and when he got Detroit, well, he was almost a body bag because the Lions stunk. They weren't a lot of them. Brunell, same thing. But Jacksonville with Tony Baselli was something else. And he did quite well. But then with Washington, he's forgotten. A lot of them don't really tend to make it out. But it's an interesting debate and argument. We talk about left-hand quarterbacks. We talk about their impact. And almost like a novelty. It's almost like comical because you really are sitting there thinking like, whoa, left-hand quarterbacks, how they fit in, what they do, the over and under about them, the totality, how you get hit on the blind side, the weak spot. Um, it's interesting. It's interesting. It's a real interesting situation where you take that in consideration and then you're kind of like leveling it and trying to like compartmentalize it to understand the the dynamics of it, because sometimes it makes sense to where they are, sometimes it's kind of like head scratching, but it all depends on which way you're looking at it and where you want it to be. So I think it's an interesting topic. Again, those four guys, when I talk about Stabler, well, mainly Stabler, Steve Young, and Michael Vick, those are the ones that you're really going to debate more than, even though Boomer Esiason got a league MVP and he did get to a Super Bowl, he's not revered like those guys. Michael Vick is the one that you really have the question marks, because when you think about the black quarterback and athleticism, and you look at a Patrick Mahomes, you look at Lamar Jackson, you can't help but think about Vic. And then the mobility of the black quarterback, when you think about Russell Wilson, Colin Kaepernick, you can't help but think what happened with Robert Griffin III, but especially Michael Vick. That one is the haunting one. Ken Stabler, pocket passer, had his best days with the Raiders. And then you get guys like Steve Young, who did win, but he had to being with the 49ers, but he wasn't much early in his career. So this is a good debate. But so what you say, who's the greatest left-handed quarterback ever? And tell me in the comments below. I'm looking forward to it. Please like, subscribe, work on thoughts, comments. And I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands. Keep your mind clear. Watch out for another share if you like. Hit that membership, because when you do, requests like this I bring forth. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay true, stay woke. I'm out one time. Peace.